Hello everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004 in the Duke Blue Devils Dynasty mode here, and we are moving right on ahead following a very interesting season in our previous episode. A very interesting series of events here, as we managed to win 6 games of our 13 games here, going 6-7. A decent record to say the least, with 5 FBS wins, most notably over North Carolina, of course. We also beat Elon, which is another in-state rival, but they are FCS schools, so not going to get a ton of pretty looks there or anything, but we did finish 6-7. It doesn't look like our prestige really bumped up or changed much. I don't know. I thought it changed at the end of the season, but it might change in the offseason. I don't know, but we're still sitting at 1 star, and the game just barely put us inside the top 100 teams to end the season. We finished ranked 98th in the country, which isn't great, but it wasn't good enough to save our coach's skin, Jim Westin. So he's now gone after going 9-28 in 3 seasons, which I still think is, a better record than like the actual coaches in real life who Jim Westin replaced. I think that might still be a better record in those 3 seasons. But we have a new coach now that we're going to be heading into the Storm. We're going to be taking on for the next 3 seasons and see if Mr. Fred Kirk can do anything different that Jim Westin could not do. Which I'm not super optimistic, but we will see here. So the terms of the contract are still exactly the same here. Got to maintain the team prestige, got to have a bowl bid, and need to have a winning season, or at least, achieve 2 of 3 of those, or do something comparable like that. So I thought winning 6 games would be good enough for that, but not a bowl bid, because now that we're an independent, we have no conference tie-ins, and we're going to need to make it as an at-large, and if we're going to make it as an at-large, I think our prestige needs to be higher, and we probably need to win like 9 or more games, so it's probably going to be even more difficult as an independent to get a bowl bid in this era of college football, in which there are not a lot of bowl games to fight for, so that's going to be the task moving ahead. But I think having a winning season and maintaining the team prestige is going to be the 2 easiest things that we can at least do. I can make the schedule easier. I made it pretty easy in this season, and we did well with it, but I might be able to make it just a tad easier, and that might get us that winning record. And I think maybe if we do that once, that might be good enough. Maybe we'll see. So now let's get into our off-season schedule and take a look at who is leaving. This should be the last year that we're losing a lot of the unnamed players on the team here. So obviously you see 2 offensive line pieces here. Our starting tight end is going to be gone here. Our transfer, Chris Roundtree, finally graduates. We got him in our first season of recruiting, and he's finally graduating. And then we're losing also a lot of pieces on the defensive line. A lot of that depth is finally leaving us as well. The linebacking core is also going to get a little bit thin, at least on the right side, and then our entire DB room is completely just decimated, man. We're going to have to completely rebuild a lot of the defense. So I spent most of our recruiting points and time last offseason on the offensive skill positions, and this season we're really going to probably focus a lot more on the defense, because both sides of the ball need a lot of help, but we were able to kind of stagger it between 2 off seasons. So hopefully I can rebuild the defense this season, much like I did with offense. And so now we'll get in and we'll see exactly what we're dealing with. So I'll, of course, chime back in once I have a full recruiting recap for you guys. All right, y'all, it's a bit of an interesting offseason, bit of an interesting recruiting report. Very bad, and also decently good. It's good in the sense that we got a lot of people, so like we didn't regress and only get like 5 new players. We did get like a full class of guys in positions that we need. The issue is they're not all very good or highly touted prospects, so it's an interesting mixed bag here. So taking a look here, the class of the class is Joe Bentley, a 4-star cornerback that we were able to get in state. We also got a couple 3-stars as well, so we were able to rebuild the cornerback room almost completely, which is much like last season. We were concerned about rebuilding the quarterback room. I was able to do it pretty well, and I was able to do the same here with DB. And then we also got 2 more 3-stars in Anthony Westgate, 3-star defensive tackle here, 50th in the country. And then we also got Mike McCown, the 18th free safety here, 3-star prospect out of North Carolina as well. So we did get a slew of 3-stars that are going to help us tremendously on our defense. We also got another 2-star defensive tackle. I would imagine that Cash Anderson and Anthony Westgate will probably start almost immediately, depending on what the depth on the current roster looks like right now. I mean, same thing with McCown. He could start free safety probably right now. So, but all these guys right here in this top crop of players are probably all starters. Probably all going to be major contributors or starters in their freshman year. That's just how things are. The game threw us a couple 1-star receivers and a 1-star guard, so I took them. We don't necessarily need them that badly, but we definitely needed them. We did need some edge help, so I was able to get Rex Bacon, a 1-star. from South Carolina. I struggled getting an outside linebacker to replace what we lost at the right side, and was able to get Bryce Carey a 1-star, so we'll take that. Another 1-star defensive tackle. We did need a tackle, so I got Oliver Duncan, another 1-star here. We did get another strong safety, which we also needed, I think, for depth purposes. I think the strong safety we currently have on the roster is probably going to be better than Wilbert Taylor will be, but it'll be interesting to see. And then, yeah, the final 1-star receiver. So it's a lot of 1-star stuff here, not a lot of great things on the recruiting board here, but this is what I was able to grab. So now I guess we'll look at the current targets here, because we got gutted everywhere. So don't be too disillusioned with these top star guys. None of these guys ever really wanted to come here. Like, this guy, it said, was like on my board, and I never even targeted him. He was never even given to me. Like, I have no idea where or why he was ever here. Like, I never targeted him, but the game's recruiting assistants just put him here and was like, hey man, you could get this guy. Never mind, he went to Virginia Tech. And I'm like, I was never in on this guy. This guy was never going to come to Duke. Same thing with this guy. He was thrown on like week 4 of my recruiting thing, and I'm like, and his bar was like almost completely all the way like empty, and I was like, dude, why did the game give me this tackle? He doesn't want to come here. I don't understand it. I think this is another situation with this 4-star. Yeah, a lot of these guys I never even was like in on. This running back, yeah, none of these guys I was ever trying to get at all. So the highest I think I was looking for was Joe Bentley. That was like the biggest prospect I was actually looking for. So, but Sterling Lawrence was a defensive end I was in on, and he ended up going to North Carolina, our rival here. This 3-star free safety, I had 2 of them targeted, and I was able to get McCown, but Jomar Penn ended up going to ECU. I think I was only in the center for maybe a week or so. Not even, bro. Nebraska, I don't even think, I think the game's just throwing these guys in. These guys were never coming here. But this 3-star tackle I was definitely trying to get here, and he ends up going to Wake Forest. There's a few more down here, I think. Yeah, I was also, either one of these. I was like, can I get Westgate? Or, I want to get either Westgate or Hamilton. And Hamilton ended up going to Wake Forest, and we ended up getting Westgate. So I think I'm okay with that. Wake Forest can have that 2-star all they want. But I was trying to get Teddy Bowden. I really wanted him, 2-star outside linebacker. He ends up going to NC State, unfortunately. We couldn't really get any help on center. This was another guy I was not targeting. He was from Michigan. I was not targeting him. So we lost a lot of recruits to in-state guys here. A lot of these out-of-state stuff like Rice. Like, dude, I was never looking at that person. But, yeah, a lot of these guys ended up going to different places. Yeah, the game, I don't know. Recruiting systems just made this a complete mess. So I thought it would be a little bit easier to sift through, but it's not. It doesn't make any sense to me. So looking through recruiting now, we're going to see how far down we are here. We're in the 60s. We've kind of bounced all over the place. Looks like we're going to be a little bit further down. All right, 82. I'll take 82. You guys think 82 is good? I'll take 82. So we just finished 1 space behind ECU, so maybe that's something to note. Maybe, I don't know. But ECU loaded their class with a bunch of 2-stars, and that's kind of how their class was built. We either went 3 or we went 1. We didn't have really much of anything in between. But, yeah, 2 of us here in between. 2 North Carolina schools ready in between. I don't know if we have anything closer. Clemson all the way down to 86. Good Lord. I was looking for anything in the Carolinas a little bit closer here, but it looks like we're kind of on an island on our own here in the early 80s. So that is how recruiting is going to shape up. And now we're, of course, going to get into all the final roster stuff. Take a look at the training results and see exactly who is going to get a big boost and be a major contributor for us in this coming season. All right, so taking a look at the training results here, looks like we got a couple breakthroughs, or just 1 breakthrough here. So our middle linebacker. So we still have a couple guys who are unnamed on the team, some redshirt seniors who are still on the team this season here. One of which is number 58, our linebacker here. I don't know if he's ever had. Yeah, he hasn't really had any major contributions leading up to here. Last season was a pretty big year for him, but that's about it. Some moderate stuff here. Nothing too crazy here. We're still trending in that like mid to high 60s, low 70s type of thing. We might have a couple guys kind of sticking out, but this team is probably still a couple seasons away with all the new guys that we just brought in. I can imagine maybe like probably in 2 seasons, I think this team will actually be like pretty good to maybe contend for a bowl game, which is just really slow progress. I'm well aware, but I just don't think the talent is there around this team to really kind of like contend in the way that we kind of want to. So I do think there's a lot happening. Oh man, Holman didn't get any sort of boost. That's awful, man. God, that sucks. We're really hoping he would kind of boost up a little bit. But anyway, I think the team is in a decent spot. Just yeah, the depth here and the talent just on display is just not high enough. It just isn't. So And the unfortunate thing is that I think we finally have a consistent grouping of talent on the team, but there just isn't, like they're not high enough. You know what I mean? Like there's no one on the team is high enough. And once again, our roster is well below the 55 player limit, so we're just going to skip right on past the cutting phase of our players. We have no one to cut. It's amazing that our team is so bad and has remained so bad through the first, 3 full seasons, and now what? Well, this is the third off season. We have yet to have an abundance of players in which we need to actually pick and choose. There was players I was cutting from the Alabama Dynasty every single off season because we just had so many. It didn't matter. We just had so many players. Recruiting just became pointless. But in this game, it is very much important because we cannot build this team for the life of me. We just can't. So Aaron Holman's going to come back here, obviously, for his sophomore season. He's probably going to start all 4 seasons. Literally, he's going to start all 4 seasons. Last year was not that great for him. He didn't have that great of a year, so hopefully he can improve this season, even though his stats didn't go up all that much. And we have the same quarterback depth behind him at running back. So Josh Livingston is up to a 71, but we also have Benny Singleton, who's also up to a 71. So it looks like maybe swapping in and out between these two guys throughout the year might help out a little bit, potentially. I'm not sure. That might be a thing to look into, subbing out a lot and really kind of rotating a lot of our running backs in and out. But at fullback, so Johnny Davis up to a junior now. He's a 62 overall. He's going to start first at fullback. In the receiving core, we have Quentin Jordan. Once again, he's up to a senior now. He's a 70 overall. Patrick Fleming's up to a 68 as a sophomore. And Omari Smalley is up to a 67 as a sophomore. These two guys are giving me a lot of hope here. This is kind of what I was just talking about a second ago. In a couple seasons, these types of guys might be actually really good. Like when they're seniors, hopefully they're like 75 maybe. And I think that, that'd be our best shot to maybe contend for something, for anything. Lamont Lowry is one of the 1-stars that we just grabbed, and so is Seneca May, or not Seneca May, but Anthony Dickey is one of the other receivers that we just grabbed. So we have a full receiving core here. It's not great, but there's a little bit of depth here. It goes throughout. It kind of staggers throughout. It's not like a humongous drop-off, but still not all that great. Justin Golden, a sophomore, is up to a 69 as a tight end, but we also have J.P. Kramer up to a 69 as a tight end. So yeah, maybe subbing a lot is the strategy that we're going to try and go for in this first season, because it looks like we have a lot of consistent talent here. I don't really think just going with one guy is going to be like the smart thing, an obvious smart thing to do. I think we could probably swap in and out, and it'll probably work out just as well. Oliver Duncan, there's a freshman left tackle. He's going to start there at a 62. We don't have really anybody else. Jonathan Juneau is up to a 71 though as a junior, and he's going to start at the left guard position. Center, we have J.J. Johnson now up to a 64 as a sophomore. We have nobody else behind him, man. Nobody else. We weren't able to grab anybody else. I thought the game might give us a walk-on, but no. We're just going to put other guys behind. So it's difficult here. And then we still have an unnamed player here at right guard up to a 69. And then on the right tackle position, Tony Darnell is up to a 69 as a junior. So the offensive line, of course, is not great. It was a huge issue for us last season. We could not protect Holman whatsoever, and I think that's why he had so many mistakes, had such a terrible season. So I don't know if that situation is going to get any better for him. He might not have an O-line in his entire time here. But, we got to try, I guess. We have to try. So And then on right end, we have Kevin Molina here up to a 62 as a sophomore. Ugh, that's a huge fall off. We have an unnamed right end on the right side at 76. So it looks like we have a pass rush maybe on one side still, but not the other. And then defensive tacklers consisting here at 69 between a couple of guys that we just brought in here. Anthony Westgate comes in as a 69, one of those 3 stars that I brought in. So I have big hopes for him in the next coming seasons here. And then even Cash Anderson as a 65 as a freshman. You know, these two guys, again, should probably look pretty solid here in the next couple of seasons. I'm happy about that. But, of course, Jelani Bray is going to be gone after the season as a 69. On the left side, we have a couple linebackers left in their last season here up to a 78. Man, it's going to be a huge fall-off once both of these guys leave. It's going to be tough. Going to need to rebuild linebacker probably for the most part. Yeah, same middle linebacker. So we're going to be looking to rebuild linebacker probably heading into the next season. And then on the right side, we're going to put, let's see if I can put 41 in there. Yeah, so let's swap that out because we don't really have a solid option at right outside linebacker. We're going to let Bryce Carey just kind of take a gear and figure it out because he's not that good yet. So, cornerback room. So, Darryl Stewart, one of our top, or he is our top recruit from the season, up to a 72 here. And then Joe Bentley, down to a 71, but he's got 87 speed, so he's a lot faster than Stewart is. And then he is, or Joe Bentley is the 4-star, I believe. I get them confused. But we have a 71 and 72 regardless, leading our cornerback room, and then we have two 67s down here. So, again, more consistency in this position group. We were able to rebuild it a little bit here, but I don't think our defense is going to be good enough where it's going to matter too much. Mike McCown, one of our new recruits as well, 3-star as a freshman, up to a 69. He is going to start for a series way better than Jonathan Sterling is, so he is going to start. And then Carlin Lloyd, who has been here for a little bit here, up to a junior now, is a 57. So we're not going to have a single option at strong safety. So, yeah, defense is kind of scattered all around here. Lou Bearden is up to 66 as kicker, and then, yeah, punter, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, the team is still bad. I mean, I don't know. The team's not getting a whole lot better. Like I said, it's going to take probably another year or so of, like, just kind of chipping away at this issue before I think we have a team that's even, like, decent enough to, like, actually compete, like, just at a competitive level. Like, I know that sounds vague and, like, nothing, but I mean, literally, like, just compete at a competitive level. Just play halfway decent teams well. Like, I think we're still a couple of years away from that. Like, we're still in an area where I have to rely on, like, really easy games just to even, like have a good season. Like, okay, so let's look at the custom schedule here now. So we start off with Central Michigan. It's giving us Penn State in Happy Valley. We have Buffalo again, UNLV at home, Central Michigan twice at home. Is this what? Okay, I'm learning a lot of things about this game, things I wish I didn't know. So we're definitely going to change that. So we also have Wyoming at home here. We have NC State, so some in-state stuff. I might leave this game here just for some challenge. Then we have Kentucky on the road. We have Navy once again, Louisiana Lafayette on the road, Troy State on the road, and then ECU. So I think I will probably keep these 3 games. I'll probably keep these 4. I'll keep Navy on the schedule. We'll play the other independents here. So I'll keep these 4 teams here. We could keep Kentucky because Kentucky I don't think is very good. I think they're better in this sim than they were in my Bama sim, but we'll just take it as a power conference game. Why not? And then we'll keep NC State as well. Probably keep Wyoming too. Yeah, probably keep Wyoming too. So we'll keep the one Central Michigan game. We don't need both of them. We're going to switch out. We don't need both Central Michigan games. I don't think we need that. So I could probably play a lot of teams out of the MAC, so why not? I'll put Ball State on there. I'd need an FCS game, so I'm going to take Penn State off, and we're going to swap them out for an FCS game. It'd be funny to play Penn instead, but no. I kind of want to play Northwestern. Yeah, you know what? Why not? We'll keep a Big Ten team on the schedule. We'll play Northwestern instead, and I'll take Buffalo off because we already have a couple MAC schools on. Or actually, I'll keep the MAC schools in. We'll get rid of UNLV. Why not? And then we'll add. Let's go down here. Let's see. Villanova would be fun. Weber State. Oh, Western Carolina, obviously. Gotta play the Catamounts. What are we doing here? Gotta play the Catamounts. And then Wyoming. So we have a lot of home games, dude. How many home games? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games. How many road games? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, even split here. So I guess we'll probably stick with this here. So here, I'll go through it real quick. We'll save it, and then I'll flip through it here in this screen. It looks a lot better on this screen. So, okay, so we start off with Central Michigan here. How's that ranking out? Okay, so wow, actually we're better than Central Michigan entering into the season, so we should be able to win this game. What about Northwestern? Okay, I'm not going to do this for every single one. I was just curious. So we start off with Central Michigan, then we head up to Evanston to play Northwestern here. That was from the first season we played Northwestern as well. And then we have Buffalo at home and Western Carolina at home as well. Then we have Ball State at home and Wyoming at home. So quite the homestand. And then we take to the road here to play NC State, who's ranked. They're probably going to eat our lunch. And then we also play Kentucky. And then we're home to play Navy before finishing off with a 3-game road trip to Louisiana Lafayette, Troy State, and Eastern Carolina. So I think this schedule's actually decent, decently easy here. I think with how we finished last year, we should be able to maybe compete in a lot of these games. So, but again, these are bad teams. These aren't good teams that we're competing against. These are still bad teams. So we should be able to beat Central Michigan. I think Northwestern is a winnable game, but we probably won't win it. We probably should be able to beat Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo is definitely still a winnable game as well. Obviously, we should beat the Catamounts. We should be able to beat Ball State as well. It looks like Ball State's actually a decent squad, so maybe that's a losable game. Or it's definitely a losable game, but maybe it's not a winnable game is maybe more so what I was talking about. We should be able to beat Wyoming as well. We're going to lose NC State. Yeah, I think we should beat Navy. I think there's at least another 5 or 6 games here that we should be able to win. I think on the highest end, maybe it's probably 6 or 7, but it's still, I think 500 is probably the ceiling. So we'll see if another 500 or so season will get us higher prestige, but now I'm going to save, and then when I come back, we're obviously going to sim the season and then get on out of here. One more thing before we run the sim of the season, I wanted to change up Fred Kirk's coaching philosophy here. So I switched the playbook to the balanced pass from the balanced run. I do want the offense to incorporate a little bit more of the run game, but I do want to focus a little bit more on passing as well. And then, of course, we're going to run pretty heavy on the pass, and I went up a little bit aggressive, and I want us to sub a little bit more, maybe get some more guys in the rotation, especially in our skill positions. And then on the defensive side, I'm keeping things balanced because I don't think our defense does anything particularly well. I think we could probably guard the pass a little bit better than we could the run, but regardless, there's not enough depth anywhere on the defense to consistently kind of commit to one game plan. And then I bumped us down to conservative. I want us to be a little bit more cautious on defense because, again, we don't have the depth to really stop or contain anybody. And then, of course, I'm keeping sub more or less in the middle as well because we don't have a whole lot of rotational pieces that we can feature in and out. So now we are going to run the sim. Much like the offseason, this season has also had its ups and downs. We finished 6-6, which is pretty great, but as you're seeing on the screen, we did lose some pretty indefensible games here. So we did pick up the win against Central Michigan to start the year. We then picked up 3 straight losses against Northwestern Buffalo and Western Carolina. We lost our FCS game, man. The Catamounts managed to just kind of outbeat us, man. I don't know how, but they managed to do it. So we lose our FCS game. Really weren't even all that competitive in it, if I'm being honest. But we then went on to beat Ball State. We clobbered Ball State, and then lost to Wyoming by 1 score. Then we even beat NC State, who ended up having a disaster season after coming in ranked to start the year. We lost by just a field goal to Kentucky, which would have been a nice game to have won. And then we beat Navy pretty handedly. Managed to edge out Louisiana Lafayette, lose another close one to Troy State, and then even pull off a pretty big upset against Eastern Carolina. So while we lose to Western Carolina, we do pick up 2 big dubs against 2 of our other in-state rivals in NC State and ECU. So I think we'll take that as a moral victory. I think that's fine. But so that is how our season ends. That's how we get to 500. Pretty decent, I would say. I'm not even super mad about it. Obviously, I wish we would have won the Western Carolina game, but outside of that, the only other games I'm looking at that we probably should have, not just could, but should have won is definitely this Wyoming game we should have won, and then I think Kentucky we probably also should have won. But outside of that, I think losing to Troy State, it's fine. They also finished 500s. It's whatever. I think this Buffalo game is also kind of a wash. Like that game could have probably went either way, but it is clear you can see on the schedule, man. Potential for like 7-8 wins was definitely on the schedule. So maybe if we just keep building a little bit, we'll be able to get over that hump. And in first year for head coach Fred Kirk, man, this is not a bad start. Obviously, you can't lose your FCS games, clearly, but it is still a decent start, man. We finished 500, so I don't know why I'm backing out here. So we're going to sim through the conference week here and through the bowl week and just see what happens. Again, I don't think we finished anywhere near enough for a bowl game. We finished 75th, I think is what it said in the total rankings here, so I don't think we're going to get any looks. But here is how the Heisman voting went down. And look, NC State even had a Heisman person on. A person receiving Heisman votes, for the Heisman, and didn't get it. Just did not get it. So, and another unnamed player, so if you know who number 34 for Clemson was, some odd years ago, then he won the Heisman. So congratulations to him. Congratulations. So now, okay, so we didn't get a bowl bid as to be expected here, so we're going to simulate through all of our bowl games here. We'll take a look at who the national champion is, and of course look through all of the stats, and then we will be done. We will get out of here. We will get on out of here. And look at that. ECU's record changed, so Eastern Carolina made a bowl, and they were like 80-something in the country, man. I guess that's the glory of being in a conference is, you can finish 6-6 in conference, but as an independent, nobody cares. No one cares about who you are or how many games you did or didn't win, unless you won all of them, because Notre Dame, of course, they could win 10, 11 games, and they will, of course, always get that benefit of the doubt. So, but yeah, it looks like Troy State didn't make one either as the other independent that went 6-6. So that makes sense. But hey, our prestige went up. We're up to 2 stars now. That should really help us. I think that should give us the extra boost we need, man. I think we're up to 2 stars. So back-to-back seasons of 6 wins gets us up to 2 stars, and we are slowly but surely building this thing, man. Very, very slowly but surely building this thing. So let's take a look at the weekly here and see exactly who is your national champion. Let's see it here. We need a drum roll. Can I get a drum roll? No, I don't need a drum roll. It's fine. And Virginia Tech comes back. So after losing to Oklahoma last season, Virginia Tech comes back and manages to knock off the Volunteers out of the SEC and grab their first national title of the Sim. So now that makes it Colorado State, Oklahoma, and now Virginia Tech. So at least we have some blue bloods still competing at the Colorado State thing is weird, but hey, at least we have blue bloods still competing and showing up there. So we maybe have a couple more seasons before like Southern Miss or like TCU or Colorado State again, Air Force or whatever. Some random mid-major school just dominates it every year. So that's what we're looking for. But now let's take a look at our stats. Of course, once again, we had two quarterbacks take some reps here, but it looks like Ellison this year got a lot more reps. Last year, he only had like a game's worth of stats, I think. Yeah, he only had like a game's worth of stats, but this year, looks like he definitely played a little bit more, so maybe that contributes to why we lost the games that we did, because we had Ellison playing some reps here, and Holman spent some time injured. But Holman here, a much, much better season, man. Look at this. We could live with this, dude. Over 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and just 13 picks. He pretty much flips his TD-INT ratio, and then the completion percentage is up 8%, dude. Well over 50%. In the mid-50s, I will live with that. So Aaron Holman has himself an amazing season at quarterback. We could definitely see that trend going upward, and he's only a sophomore, so that is a great sign to see from our sophomore quarterback, our five-star blue chip, our only five-star blue chip on the team. Running the football here, I divvied up the substitutions here. Benny Singleton was 7 touchdowns, but only 567 yards, averaging less than 4 yards a carry. Not super great running the football. We have not been a good team running the football at all, even in like the first season or so when I thought running the football would be like the only thing we could do. We still have yet to really kind of tap into that potential. We don't have a good running game. So receiving wise, only Patrick Fleming here gets over 1,000 yards. It's a second straight season doing so. It's a pretty similar season to last year. Averages a couple more yards per catch here, and then a couple more touchdowns as well. So he does improve. So this is a good season from Patrick Fleming. And then Quentin Jordan just falls short of the 1,000 mark. He hit it last year. Has more touchdowns, though, just 1 extra touchdown. So still a productive season for Jordan as well. Here we have a couple more guys getting a few hundred yards, so can't be super mad about any of that here. I'm be curious to see where our passing game ranked in the entire country. Tony Darnell has an amazing season at tackle, man. A great season at tackle for him. Much better from where he has been. Our right guard, not the best season, but we'll take it. J.P. Kramer, very, he's the tight end. He's the tight end. Oliver Duncan here in his freshman season, not the best season either. So looks like we only really had one solid contributor on our offensive line, which I guess is to be expected here. That's just kind of how things work sometimes. And then defensively, our left outside linebacker, once again, man, just absolutely turning things up, man. He might be like a late round draft pick, dude. Like in real life, that he might be like a 5th or 6th. Like I could see a team taking a chance on him as like a 5th or 6th round pick. But tackles for loss here is a different story. So Jelani Bray leads the team with 13 on the defensive line, but we also have Kevin Molina here with 9, and then our unnamed linebacker, middle linebacker, also with 9 tackles for loss, and then even our left outside linebacker at 7. So we had a lot of penetration on the line of scrimmage, man. We were kind of getting in there, and then sacks too. The sacks numbers don't really reflect the same thing, but Jelani Bray was really productive getting penetration and getting behind the line of scrimmage. So great season for him in his senior season. Interceptions is led by Joe Bentley here, so there he is, man. Our freshman standout, leading the team in interceptions with just 4, but we will take it. And McCown, one of the other freshmen on this team, right behind him with 3 interceptions. So that is a huge boost for us. Good things to see from our defense, man. I like it. And then kicking-wise, oh my God, Luke Bearden had a horrendous season. So that was probably exactly why we struggled this year with field goals. There's a couple games in which, field goals would definitely made the difference here, and Luke Bearden definitely let us down. So kicking, it really let us down this year. We definitely struggled with kicking here. Now we're going to look at stat rankings before we get right on out of this one. So offensively, these numbers are actually pretty solid, man. Yards per game, we were 2nd in the country in yards per game, man. Holman absolutely had this offense rolling, and for some reason we just could not win any more games than that. So, and that weighted our offense up to 25th, even though rushing yards per game was at 106th. So there's just a huge night and day difference between running and passing, obviously, as we already kind of expected. But there's a lot of great things offensively to look at here, especially with our pass game. If we go heavier on the pass game in the next season, and Holman continues to develop and our receivers get better, dude, this offense could actually be kind of low-key legit. Like, kind of low-key pretty effective here, man. We might just be like a West Coast type team, just throwing the ball at will and just forgetting about running the football or playing any defense. But decent numbers all around here. The percentage in the red zone, again, kind of low. Not great there. But sacks is up a lot, though. We allowed a lot of sacks last year. I think we were close to the bottom 100 or outside the top 100. And this year we're inside the top 50, so we will take that. On defense here, the defensive numbers are a little bit mixed here. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We will happily take it, though. These numbers aren't nearly as bad considering how low the overalls are. You know what I mean? There's a couple positions around the defense that are just complete holes. Like, we did not have a strong safety this year. And still, passing-wise, 42nd in interceptions, I'll take that. I will happily take that. Red zone percentage was higher than our offensive one, so, again, I'll take that. But still, 84%, not great. You would like that to be a little bit lower. But I think our defense performed pretty well, all things considered here. I think our numbers actually kind of reflect a 6-6 team. That's what I'll say. Like, last year we were 6-7, and our numbers still reflected a team that should have won maybe 3 games. But this year that is all kind of flipped. So efficiency, we were a lot better. Third down percentage was inside the top 50, which is good. So we were really good on third down, awful on fourth down, as to be expected. And then penalties, we were pretty decent here, but a lot of yards penalized, not great. A lot of bad penalties, not penalized as much, but a lot of bad penalties. So, and then turnovers, so we definitely limited the turnovers a little bit more. We fumbled the ball a lot less, so that's a big thing. That's probably the only good thing that came out of our run game was we fumbled a lot less. So we didn't give up the ball nearly as many times here. Our takeaways kind of about the same here. Look at that. Look at this. About the same here. So turnovers are pretty solid. We were just a solid team, man. Just a solid team, man. There's a lot of good things to like about what we did this season, and I'm honestly pretty optimistic heading forward with this roster. Now with our prestige up a little bit, we should be getting a lot more prospects. I didn't mention this during recruiting, but it was a huge step down from last season. Last season, we had the 5-star, and we had a whole bunch of different recruits that wanted to come. In this year, or in this video, the offseason, I had one recruit that wanted to come here. It was a center, and we didn't even get him. So I had to literally build our recruiting class from nothing, with in-state prospects that had no interest coming here, and so on, dude. Like, I had to build that out of nothing, because nobody wanted to come here after last season. So hopefully, with the prestige going up and the 6-6 finish, we can completely flip that around here, heading into year number 5 now. So we're already 4 seasons in. So I hope to see you guys back in year number 5. Kind of rambled a little bit longer than normal here. We were doing good on time, and then things just kind of fell apart. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video here, and of course, in the next one, we will be covering the off-season and looking at year number 5, which is hopefully the bowl game season. Hopefully we can get to a bowl game next season. I think with 2-star prestige and 6-6 record, we should be able to do that. I don't know what the path is to get back into a conference. I think we're way far away from that. We might even need another coach to do that, but Fred Kirk, things are looking good. We got to win the FCS games, but Fred Kirk is at least looking up for us. So hopefully I can see you guys in that next video here. I will mention this. Videos next week are going to be a little bit sparse. I'm getting married. I'm flying out of town and getting married. So rather than trying to crunch and get a bunch of videos done for next week, I'm going to take the time and actually focus on what I'm doing. And so there might only be a couple videos next week. It depends how much time I get this weekend to work on stuff. But hopefully you guys understand, man, and hopefully you enjoy the Duke series and the Bill series. There will be at least an episode of both going up either this weekend or during the week. So you guys will not completely go without. But thank you guys so much for watching and supporting and listening to me ramble. And that's going to do it for this episode of Duke Blue Devils, man. 6-6 in year 4. Hopefully we can get better things in year number 5. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.